Welcome to In Depth on Campus.
Good evening and welcome to In Depth on Campus. I'm your host, Tamer Knight. On this episode, we'll talk leaving home with an interesting member of a championship basketball squad, touch base with a former Texas Southern University track star who was doing all she can to keep the sport thriving on all levels, and say so long to an all-time great coach, Gary Blair. First, welcome on campus here at Houston Baptist University, where the women's basketball team has had a historic season, winning the first Southland Conference title in school history. Not just the first women's basketball, but a first for the entire athletic department. HBU women's squad is unique in that more than half the team roster is foreign-born, hailing from Northern Ireland to Luxembourg to Australia. One of those international players is senior guard Lauryn Mapusua. Mapusua's basketball journey began in Queensland, Australia. From there to Hutchinson Community College in Kansas to the University of Central Arkansas before she landed a spot on the roster right here at HBU. Why HBU? The number of international players on campus sold her. Mapusua says she fits right in a championship season. It's just the icing on the cake. Let's go on campus with Lauryn Mapusua. What was the adjustment like? I mean, coming from Australia to the United States, clearly it has to be like a time difference, the weather difference. Mm-hmm. What was that adjustment like for you?
It was a big adjustment. I don't think I was expecting it to be so different. I think it was a shock for me coming over, especially the culture shock as well of like the basketball and school and just people in general. And I think when it comes to basketball, the game is a lot different. I think it's a lot more physical, and you've got a lot of girls who are very athletic in a different way, because I don't think you see the type of athleticism you have in America compared to back home. I think you get a lot more like shooters, and you work a lot more on your skill set back home rather than rely on athletic ability. So I think that was different coming over here. And then definitely the time difference when you first get over. Like you have to deal with jet lag and things like that. And even just like personalities, because I think American people are a lot more upfront. So they'll tell you what they want to see or what they expect, whereas back home they're a lot laid back. So I would say it's a lot different. I was thinking of getting a car at the beginning of the year, but then I seen how all the drivers are here, and I decided that's not a good idea.
You guys, the Houston drivers scare her away. Oh my God,
Yeah,
so you don't want to drive here?
Probably not.
Is it too fast or?
Yeah, they do drive really fast, and they don't use their you guys, I say indicators, but you guys call them blinkers. Yeah, nobody uses their blinkers, they just drive straight through. Originally, I had planned on going to a 4-year school, so I had committed to a school in Ohio, Cleveland State. But then, I don't know, after a lot of conversations with girls from my high school and stuff, I felt like going to JUCO would really help me play at the next level, and I did want to go somewhere where I could play. So I don't know, I started off there, and then I just worked as hard as I could to try and get out into a D1. And then from there, I didn't really imagine ending up here in Houston. I hoped to be somewhere like this because I wanted to be somewhere where there was more city life and more things to go and see and explore. So I am happy with where I've ended up. And I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that I've had. And I think going through from JUCO to here, I think it's taught me a lot and made me really humble as a player. And I think it's just been a big experience for me. I actually had 2 girls from my high school that went to the JUCO that I went to. So I went to that one, so it's Hutchinson Community College. And it was a really great program because we were a very competitive program, and most of the time we were in the ranked top 10 in the country. So it was special to be a part of something as great as that. And I think that really helped me transition from JUCO to the D1 level, because the coaches I had at Hutch, they really focus on every single part of the game to make you as good as you can be in every single part, especially defense. So that really prepared me getting like from being from JUCO to like the Southland Conference. And then I obviously went to UCA, and that was a good program there. It was tough and competitive. And then I think after that I was just looking for something that fit more my style of how I play and what fitted like what I was looking for in a program. And then I got in contact with the coaches here and spoke to them, and then kind of looked across like the roster as well to see who was at this program. And I think what interested me the most was that there were so many international kids at this school, and I think that was a big thing as well that kind of got me wanting to come here more, just because there's people that are in the same position as me who are at this school. So I think it's good to always have people who are in the same similar situation, because you're going through exactly the same thing, so you can relate to them on that aspect. And so I think that's also helped a lot, because we've got a couple Australians on our team as well, and I'm very close with all of the girls, and so I think that's what makes it great to be here, is that you're at a place where you enjoy playing basketball, or you enjoy your teammates, and I think that is a big contributing factor to us doing so well this season as well.
I don't know what they say, but off the bench, you are phenomenal. Let's talk about that role, you know, your role off the bench. We can easily talk about the game against A&M or the game against McNeese last Saturday. Like, off the bench, you really shook up, you brung up the energy for your team as well, but you also shook up the other bench.
It definitely was big games for me to play in, and I think the biggest thing to that was I think Coach Donna, she stresses a lot about being ready in every practice, every game, every drill. So, and that's what we do in practice every day. We're always competing and trying to push the others to play at the highest level that they can play at. So as soon as I get out on the court, I try to lock in and be focused with everything that we've got going on and what we've prepared for. So I just get out there and I just play hard and try to impact the game whatever way I can, whether it's on offense or defense, just all the little things. So I definitely would look at trying to play back home. Definitely is where I will end up playing, but I would like to probably experience playing somewhere else as well. So I don't mind playing overseas, something different, a new experience. So yeah, I definitely want to continue my basketball career after college and see where it takes me. Yeah.
Coach Finney mentioned your dad.
Yeah, so it kind of happened, we found out about his diagnosis after I had come back from my second year at Hutch, and it was definitely a shock, because it's something you don't think or expect would ever happen to you or your, like, the people around you. So yeah, that was really tough, and it kind of made it harder having to leave while he's going through all of that. I did get to spend a little bit extra time at home before I left to go to UCA, so I got to be there while he was getting his treatment done and everything, and then I ended up having to prepare to leave to go, and I think that was really difficult, because you have to watch the process of them going through the chemotherapy, and at that point you just don't really want to have to get up and leave. But I think playing basketball at the Division I level is something that my dad's always wanted to see for me to do. So I think it was something like super special to him. So it was kind of comforting knowing that, so then I could go and do that for him as well.
What was that call like when you called him and said, "Hey Dad, we are conference champs here in Houston, Texas. We did it"? Yeah,
he was super proud. And I think coming down the stretch, him watching some of the games, I think he was really happy to see me kind of come out and start to really show what I can do on the floor with this team. I think he's kind of thinking of coming, if we get to the NCAA tournament, I think he's definitely going to come fly out, like get on the first flight over to come watch. So
when we return to In Depth on Campus, we will highlight one of Houston's very own who's paving the way for women in sports.
Stay tuned for more In Depth on Campus.